Photo by Maddie Meyer, Getty ImagesAfter. Every former Tennessee football player played on losing teams in the NFL wildcard round of the 2019 playoffs. The opposite happened in the divisional round. Every former Volume who saw any sort of action won. There were 5 former Vols set to see action heading into the weekend. However, Eric Berry of the Kansas City Chiefs remained injured. That put him in a category with Derek Barnett of the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, Kalhlil, McKenzie and Ellis, also of the Chiefs, remained on injured reserve. That left 4 former Tennessee football players who saw any sort of action in the divisional round of the 2019 NFL playoffs. 2 of them saw limited action, and we're going to give them one page in this slideshow recapping how former Vols performed. After that, we'll have a separate page for each former Volume who saw significant action. And finally, we'll look ahead to the AFC and NFC championship games. What's clear, though, is that now every team remaining in the playoffs has a former Volume. As a result, it's a guarantee that a former Volume will make the Super Bowl, continuing a tradition on Rocky Top, and a former Volume will also win the Super Bowl. So even as they have fallen apart this decade in terms of wins and losses, the Vols are still well represented in the professional ranks. The question now is, which team will be the one to win it all? Obviously, the Chiefs would be the team to root for, as they have 4 former Vols, but only one is guaranteed to play the rest of the playoffs, and only 2 have a realistic chance at playing. Anyway, before the conference championship games, here's a look at how former Tennessee football players performed in the NFL playoffs divisional round. Next. Vols with limited action. Page 2. Photo by Maddie Meyer, Getty Images. With the return of Todd Gurley, this was expected. John Kelly fell to 3rd string behind C.J. Anderson, a signing that has continued to work out in amazing ways for the Los Angeles Rams. Still, he did see a bit of action in their 30-22 win over the Dallas Cowboys. Believe it or not, Kelly recorded a tackle. After LA scored to go up 20-7, Kelly tackled Jordan Lewis on the subsequent kickoff late in the second quarter. Still, true to his days with Tennessee football, he's being undervalued. Anybody who saw him play then knows how good he can be when the ball is in his hands. Cordarrelle Patterson is still one of the most dangerous players with the ball in his hands. But trick is getting the ball in his hands. Over the weekend against the Los Angeles Chargers, that only happened for him twice. Patterson had 1 carry for 3 yards and registered a 23-yard kickoff return. The return came early, right after the Chargers tied the game 7-7 with a touchdown drive in the first. New England was able to get the ball on the 33 as a result, and it helped set up their second touchdown drive en route to their blowout lead. But outside of that, he was also very quiet. Next. Dustin Colquitt. Page 3. Photo by NFL Photos. Tennessee football was once again punter you with the guy who has defined that legacy this century. Dustin Colquitt had another vintage Colquitt game on Saturday, and that's part of why the Kansas City Chiefs were able to put away the Indianapolis Colts and not allow a comeback. Colquitt only averaged 36.7 yards per punt on 3 kicks. But the real story is that he pinned 2 of them inside the 20-yard line. He also had a punt go for 50 yards, so only one was a problematic punt on the night. But you get a mulligan when it's cold like it was over the weekend. Now, to be fair, he did have a punt block that the Colts returned for a touchdown. But if you look at how that played out, it was in no way his fault. He had to field a high snap and then had 3 guys come right through the middle on him. So by and large, Colquitt did his job, and for that he deserves to be recognized. It's also worth noting that with him as the holder, Harrison Butker made his only field goal attempt of the night, and he also nailed all 4 extra points as the Chiefs were able to win 31-13. Page 4. Photo by Jonathan Bachman, Getty Images. To nobody's surprise, Alvin Kamara was the best former Tennessee football player in the game over the weekend. He had a typical Kamara-like performance, helping the New Orleans Saints pick up yards on the ground and through the air. More from all for Tennessee. Kamara finished the game with 16 rushes for 71 yards and another 4 receptions for 35 yards and 2 kickoff returns for 45 yards. He actually had a touchdown reception too, but it was called back. Still, he used his receiving and rushing skills to once again go over 100 yards. It's safe to say that the Saints do not win 20-14, and Drew Brees doesn't go 28 for 38 with over 300 yards if Kamara is not in the game to be effective. Analysts knew from the start that he'd be key against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was. It's worth noting that Kamara had 71 of his 106 total yards from scrimmage on all of the Saints' scoring drives. In the second half, after having the go-ahead touchdown called back due to a penalty, Kamara had a key 15-yard run on 1st and 15 in the red zone to set up a 1st and goal and the go-ahead touchdown for the Saints. Next, 5 Vols most likely to benefit from Jim Chaney hire before Derek Barnett got hurt. He and Kamara were the 2 best former Vols from the 2017 NFL Draft playing at the next level. Barnett won his ring with the Eagles last year, so it was fitting that Kamara, in a quest to win his own ring, was able to help knock out the Eagles this year. Page 5 photo by David Hewlett, Getty Images. Rams, John Kelly, RB, Saints, Alvin Kamara, RB. It's the 2 running backs from the 2016 team who split carries after Jalen Hurts' departure from Tennessee football now squaring off with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Alvin Kamara is the superstar of these guys, and playing at home, we figure that he is going to look to have another huge day. However, Kamara was once slept on the way John Kelly is being slept on now. That's both at the NFL level and in college, when Butch Jones slept on both in favor of Hurd. So watch out for what Kelly does in this game, as he just might surprise you. Sean McVay is supposed to be a genius. What if he's this unpredictable? AFC Championship, New England Patriots at Kansas City Chiefs. Patriots, Cordarrelle Patterson, WR. Chiefs, Dustin Colquitt, P, and Eric Berry, S***, maybe ***. The Kansas City Chiefs are definitely going to play Dustin Colquitt, and a big question is if Eric Berry returns after missing last week. A Tennessee football fan favorite, it would be an amazing story if he could capture a Super Bowl after everything he's been through. If Colquitt and Berry both play, the Chiefs have to be Vols fan favorites. Don't expect any action from Alex, Ellis or Kalhlil McKenzie this week. Meanwhile, the New England Patriots targeted Cordarrelle Patterson once through the air against the Los Angeles Chargers while giving him a handoff once and letting him return one kickoff. Keep an eye on him this weekend to see if he gets more action. The guy remains deadly with the ball in his hands, so he could be another surprise star. But story, again, is about Berry and whether or not he's good to go in the game. If he is, the role that Peyton Manning once had of stopping Tom Brady in the playoffs falls on him.